Hello and welcome back to DocTrack Training. With this lesson, we'll go over how to make a virtual attachment. What's that? You can configure DocTrack to search for files that would be related to a record you select in Sightline. When it finds those files, it attaches them dynamically to the record. Then, when you select a different record, it's going to perform that dynamic search again. We refer to these as virtual attachments. Virtual attachments are quite different than the attachments we've seen so far. Those were static. They're basically one-to-one record attachments that don't change. So if someone changes the name or location of the attached file, they'll get an error like this when they try to open it. But for virtual attachments, if someone changes the file name or location, it won't match the search criteria any longer, so it just won't be attached the next time the record is selected. This is an example of a DocTrack virtual rule. Now, you don't need to worry about creating these, but it's a good idea to know how they work. When a new file is saved according to the virtual rule, it will be attached to the appropriate Sightline record. This means you don't need access to DocTrack Flex to do it. In fact, you don't even need access to Sightline. And that's one very good reason to use virtual rules. Another good reason to use them is when you need to attach a single file to more than one record in Sightline. And the rule you see here can accomplish both of those things. It's designed to find production drawings and attach them to the items form if they meet this search rule. Now, this rule may look complicated, but actually it's pretty simple. Let's say you just selected item SP1100 on the items form. Immediately, DocTrack will search in this folder for a file name that begins with this drawing number. This asterisk is a wildcard. So if the file name has additional text after the item number, that's fine. However, the file must also be a PDF file or it won't be attached. Here's the folder that's referenced in this rule. And here are two files with names that begin with the drawing number and include additional text after that. In fact, they're the same, except one is a JPG file and the other is a PDF. So when you go to DocTrack Flex, you'll find that only the PDF drawing is attached. Next, I'll select SP12000. Notice that this has the same drawing number here as the SP11000. So the same drawing file is also attached to this item. When I select SP13000, you can see that it has a different drawing number. Back here in our folder, you'll notice there are two files that meet our criteria. So when we go back to DocTrack Flex, we see that both of those drawings are attached. Now that we know how it works, let's try it out. This is a new production drawing for item SA55000, which is a racing frame assembly. The drawing number is A78500. I want to save it in a way that our virtual rule will find it and attach it to item SA55000 when they select that item in Sightline. I'll filter for all items that begin with SA. Then, when I select SA55000, that drawing number appears in the drawing number field. So I'm going to copy this file to the drawing subfolder where the virtual rule will be searching. Now, if I go to DocTrack Flex and refresh it, I'll see that it isn't yet attached. Looking again at our rule, we can see why. If the search rule began with an asterisk, then the only requirement would be that the PDF file has the drawing number anywhere in the file name. But because there's no asterisk wildcard at the beginning, then the file must begin with the drawing number or it won't be attached. So I'm going to change the file name by removing all the characters before the drawing number. This time, when I refresh DocTrack Flex, I see a new virtual attachment to this record with that drawing number. And as expected, I don't see it attached to a record that doesn't have that drawing number. Just like other attachments, I can open it here and explore to the folder where it's stored. But one thing that is different about virtual rules is that you won't be able to edit them here in DocTrack Flex. In fact, you won't even be able to change the document or bundle options here. Any changes must be made right to the virtual rule itself. So if you see something that needs to be changed, make sure you let your document manager know about it. That's a quick overview of virtual attachments. And that's all for now. On our next lesson, we'll look at how to properly delete attachments. See you then.